You're listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon. Hey, what's up, World Wide Web? It's Brandon.
And this is Alex.
And we're filmmakers.
And we're also drinking bourbon.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Ah, nice.
Ah.
Smells good.
Smells.
Ah.
Tastes even better.
Wow. You know what that is?
What is that?
That, my friend, is Four Roses Small Batch.
Ooh, is that the next step up from the yellow label, huh?
That's right. So as you guys know, we're in the midst of Bourbon Heritage Month here in September. And last week on the show, we had Bourbon Dan, who was, what a great guy he was.
Fantastic. Wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. And he told us all about bourbon. And so we're continuing that vibe today. And I'll tell you what, the Four Roses Small Batch is tasty.
It says a symphony of sweet, fruity aromas and rich, spicy flavors.
Love it.
Like it. All right.
Amazing. So
cool.
we are bringing you awesome content and great stuff for Bourbon Heritage Month. And we have something great for you today.
What do we have for them today?
You know what we have, Alex?
What do we have?
We have for them, during this month, this special show, our first ever international
Whoa.
podcast.
International.
International.
Across the waters.
On the Skype machine.
Skype machine.
Can we say Skype? We're not allowed to say Skype.
Well, you said Skype machine. So
on
I
the
think we're safe.
computer machine. On the computer machine. Skype, call us. We'll talk about endorsements. But we have on the computer machine linked up all the way from Auckland, New Zealand.
Whoa.
I think I got that right.
New Zealand.
Yeah. Our guys from Wipster,
Nice.
the video review company.
Yes. Fantastic.
So
platform. Love it.
let's push some buttons here. Boop 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 boop.
I think you need a. There we go. Yep.
Hey guys, are you there?
Come in.
Hey,
This is New Zealand.
Nice.
Oh,
What's
there he
happening?
is.
Boys, what's happening?
How's it going?
Good. So
Oh, it's good down here.
nice. So for our listeners, tell us who we're talking to now.
Hey, so this is Rollo Wenlock. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Wipster,
Nice.
a video review platform used by video makers all over the world.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And you know what? We are some of those video makers ourselves. We use
love it.
You are the guys. Yeah,
We
you are the
use it.
guys. And,
Yeah.
and you made the coolest film showing how cool you guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Using the product and your, I mean, that office made me so jealous.
Epic. All the
I've
sunshine
never
coming
been so
in.
jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of fun. The guys back at Leap Frame, we had a good time doing that, and it was fun to partner on that, man. And we're so glad to have you on the show, buddy.
Well, thanks for having me, man. This is really cool.
So this show's pretty simple, man. It's filmmakers. We love to drink bourbon. Do you guys drink bourbon in New Zealand?
We do. You know what? It's 8 o'clock in the morning here in the South Pacific, but you know what? It's winter.
Oh,
So
you need to warm
in
up.
the espresso. Bourbon in the espresso. I've got a little shot espresso here and a little bourbon on top.
Nice.
They call that
Nice.
a New Zealand coffee?
That's just what you call a New Zealand coffee.
Bourbon and espresso.
Even children have it. So
That's wonderful. Well, you know, one of the cool things, and probably one of the key reasons you're on the show is, we were early adapters. My crew over at Leap Frame were early adapters with Wipster, and we got on board right away, started using, and started having a dialogue with you guys. You guys are great with feeding back with your customers, and then it was really cool because we ended up meeting you guys in person at NAB, and so it just kind of became this sort of natural friendship. So.
that's right.
What is it about Wipster that creates that sense of community? Because beyond just obviously, Leap Frame, you guys seem to foster that sort of relationship with a lot of your customers, and you guys even have created a Facebook channel for people that use Wipster. Tell us a little bit about who Wipster is, what you guys are doing, and talk about that sense of community.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing about Wipster is that I personally come from a background of making films for over 15 years. Ever since I was a teenager, I was doing stop frame animation in the garage with 8mm. Going all the way through school, I was doing docos instead of essays for English, all the way through to working at TV stations, making music videos for The Prodigy, TV commercials, and then films that go to festivals. And then it was just this thing of going, oh my God, there's this gap where every time I try and work with someone or try and work with a client, there's no fantastic, simple, easy to use, joyful product where we can work together while the video is being made. So we just started to build it. And through coming from the community of filmmakers and then making a filmmaking product, it just makes absolute sense that you would try and bring everyone in. You try and bring this group of people. So now we've got people who make videos and films and TV commercials from over 120 countries, all using the same product, talking about it, and then going forward into the future is that we're going to build that community more and more and more, so that because I really love the idea that you can have these creative people who are working, sometimes working alone inside companies making these videos, but who want to share it while it's being made with other people from across the world who can help them get it to the next level.
Yeah.
So the community has started now because we're in the early stages of the product. We need feedback. We need people to tell us what's wrong with it, what's cool with it. But in the future, we want everyone to be creative together and help each other elevate their work. And so really, that's why we're building this community. It's like a help group, if you will.
Yeah,
so everyone's together,
awesome.
feeling good.
Definitely the case, and I really appreciated you guys. I mean, everybody on your team at NAB, you guys were constantly asking us, and those around, and those people going through your booth, you know, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What do you want? What do you want to? What's going to make it better? And I think that's really cool that you guys have that mindset.
It just has to be the way, because we're not building like a thing for ourselves. We're just building a product and a community for everyone else. So if it's not going to fit, then really there's no point in doing it.
Exactly.
So feedback is everything.
Well, let's jump into some specifics for the listeners. Some people know what you guys are doing, and you've kind of given us an overview, but let's give us, I guess, more of a hands-on sort of walkthrough. Let's say I'm a client, and you just made a video for me. I'm a corporate client, and I say, hey, Rollo, did you get our rough cut up yet? And how would you walk a client through how to use this product, and what makes it a game changer with these sort of interactions?
Sure thing. Okay, so the game-changing bit, and this is the bit that I was keen on when I was a filmmaker, is this really, really simple idea. So the corporate client goes, dude, where's the edit? We want to have a look at it. And you go, okay, great. I've uploaded it to Wipster. I've invited you and the other 3 people in your company that have to have a look at it. You will receive a bespoke link in an email. So you just receive an email with a button that says play. You click it, the video opens, no logging in, no passwords. They're in the video. And then as soon as they're watching the video, they can click anywhere on top of it, and the video becomes the canvas for conversation. They click anywhere on top of the video and make a comment about that thing. So they say, this graphic is spelled wrong, this shot's too long, whatever it is. And they can all make these comments together in real time on top of the video and get that review done in minutes, not days. And the really fun thing for them is that it's really easy to use. There's no learning. They just do the comments, they shut the window, and it's done. But they can all do it together, so they can see what everyone else is saying. There's no hidden email chains. And they can also agree or disagree on each other's comments because they become threaded conversations. And by the end of a few reviews, everyone who's getting the video made for them feels happy. The people who are making the video feel like they really understand what they want. And together they hit a creative place which is much higher than it was when the review was really painful. So really the overarching thing is that we create a joyful experience around review, which used to be friction-filled and horrible, and it means that the video gets elevated. And that's really what we're trying to create, just with the review today, but in the future with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
so far it's working, yeah.
Well, and it's great. And I actually just got out of a session using it where the feedback was all there. And what's great about it from the on the post side of things is, once you see their comments, you can just click the check mark saying, I've addressed that. And it lets them know you've addressed it. It lets you know that you haven't forgotten anything. And it's really a lot like, I try to tell people who've never used it, I said, it's like you're in the studio pointing at the screen. And so it's like they're in the room together. So it's like everybody's in the room together, like the old days, right? The Mad Men days.
Supervised edit.
Yeah, back in the Mad Men days when everybody sat around and drank bourbon and pointed at the screen and said, stop there. And then they commented and they talked about it. Well, we live in a fast world now where things are moving, and a lot of times people are reviewing this stuff maybe on their phone at the airport. You guys have enabled the mobile Wipster that allows you to make reviews right from your mobile phone, and that's what a lot of clients are doing. And so the fact that this thing is able to create that moment of being in the session together is priceless to me, and I know that's what we really dig about it. And so we're excited about what you guys are doing. And you alluded a little bit to the future. Is there anything you can tell us? Anything on our show? We like to talk about several things. One of them is, what are you excited about? Is there anything that you can tease us with today on where this is going?
I can give you a little teaser, just a little something. And this is some stuff that we've been thinking about and designing for about a year now. And it's really if you think about what our product is at the moment, it's post-edit, but pre-hosting, if you know what I mean. So you've come out of the edit suite, you're now getting a review done, but it's pre the video going out to the audience. It's not online, it's not on TV.
Correct.
And we're expanding our product to go one step to the left into the edit and one step to the right into the hosting and the playback out there. And
What does
tying
that
together.
mean? Yeah.
Well, exactly. And it ties together all the way from the front end. What is the brief? What are you trying to achieve? All the way to the back end. Did the video achieve what you went for?
Wow.
From the point of it being in the audience.
So clearly you can't give away too much, but like, are you going to go as far? Is this like going to be a Vimeo competitor coming out of this thing? Or, like, is this maybe?
Maybe not. Maybe maybe there's going to be some partnerships. Maybe there is going to be some really crazy integrations. Maybe there is going to be some new stuff built that you haven't seen before.
Wow.
So there's going to be. I mean,
I like that.
It's going to feel like all the way from having an idea for a video and then actually putting it in front of an audience and seeing how they react.
Yeah.
That whole experience is going to happen in one place.
So on the pre-production end of things, I don't know if you're going to incorporate this into it, but me and Alex all the time at the beginning of a project, or he's wanting to see boards and we're making notes, and he's got I'm asking him, hey, what do you think on camera and gear, and we've got a producer who's trying to pull it all together with numbers. You think those type of things might be what you mean when you say to the left?
Sort of. What I mean by to the left is that if you think about the core value of our product, it's people reviewing video based on what they think it should be doing. So we're going to give you more and more tools to be able to figure out what the video should be doing from the very, very start. Ideas around how do you build the brief out for the client, or how does the client build out the brief for the video maker, and then how does the video maker tie together their treatment of what they want to do based on that brief, and then how closely aligned to the brief is the first edit, is the fourth edit, and then when the video is live and it's out there, how closely aligned is it in terms of the viewership, the calls to action, the conversion rates, how closely is that aligned to the original objectives?
Wow.
So it's much more like a video in business. A video is a product, and it has a job, and it needs to do something, and it needs an ROI. And we're going to enable it all the way from conception to final playback. We're going to say, this is the ROI on that video. It costs this much, you made this much money.
Yeah, I mean, that helps a ton, because a lot of the times the whole goal or objective gets lost along the way. Sometimes you'll start out and say, hey, we want it to look like Batman, and it ends up looking like Sesame Street, but it still gets a good response. But that will allow it to kind of stay on the same track all the way through.
Stay on the track, yeah. And it's really looking at a business video as a very specific type of product.
Yeah.
Not so much a short film. I mean, a short film can meander and change, and you're trying to figure out the emotion of it. But really, when it's a business film, it's got a job to do.
Yeah, you've already sold the client on the idea, so it's got to stick to it.
Exactly, and the client is already sold on the idea that they're going to make a video for this outcome.
Yeah,
for them, it's a business outcome. It's not a creative outcome, but the creative outcome creates the business outcome, which ties directly to our mantra, which is if you're not entertaining, you're not allowed to educate, which is
nice.
tied directly to the death of corporate video. We're saying you're going to die, corporate video. You're out the door, and in comes business movie.
I think that's pretty much along the same exact lines of Brandon's thinking. He wants to make brand films and brand documentaries instead of just a talking head.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, if you as a company that is trying to use video to do any sort of business, if you're not thinking entertainment first, you're not even going to get the audience to care.
No.
Yeah.
So you make something entertaining.
Oh, that's the...
Oh, there he is.
It can be anything. It can be very deep, dramatic, emotional documentary, which is entertaining, but it's giving you the education.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of entertaining, the other thing we always push towards in this show is, what are you guys watching over there?
What entertains you?
You're on an island, okay? Like, do you have cable? Do you got dial up? Can you get these visual images? Do you know what House of Cards is? Do you know about Narcos?
We've got absolutely nothing. I've just got this old wired up phone. Nice. I'm in a shed down by the whaling truck. I'm having a tough time even hearing you guys.
Just scratch
So,
it.
so what do you get us hip to what you guys in the shop over there? What are you guys watching? What are you guys talking about?
Well, there's a range of things. Now, the guys really love Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're all up in that business.
Brandon loves robes.
I hate Rollo. I hate robes. We actually have an episode called what's something robes.
It's called like Take Off Your Robe.
Take Off Your Robe,
yeah,
and basically it's just me ranting about how much I can't stand robes.
But you can't even do a bathrobe. You can't even.
I don't know, man.
I think he's talking about the extravagant.
Like I can't watch Lord of the Rings.
No.
Basically, any film that's ever been shot on your country, I can't watch. Like
Lord of the
I
Rings.
agree.
like wizardry and all that crap.
Oh man, that
I love it.
wizardry. No one likes it. Like that's really strange. Like
See, I love it.
The hugest films that come out of here is Lord of the Rings, and it's all about the landscape and orcs and all those dicks. And no one likes it over here.
Really? It doesn't do well in New Zealand?
Oh, I'm sure people pay and go and have a look, but nobody really cares about it. It's it's just a bit nerdy. So
what are you guys into more of? Like the real life, the cop dramas, the stuff like that?
No, it's quite a big movement towards the art house films. So people like Michael Haneke's work,
Okay.
There's the White Ribbon did really well over here. Films like that. I mean, of course, all the great American comedies that come out, they all come over here. We get pretty much, I think, the same distribution as America.
Yeah.
Because I just spent a few months in San Francisco, and the films were very, very similar in terms of the ones that I knew were showing over in NZ. So I think the Western world has homogenized. We're all kind of watching the same stuff. But on a personal level, my partner Gemma, she's just been watching The West Wing. Like she's gone way back to the early 2000s, and I'm like, damn, that show is slow. So she's trying to get me involved with that, and I literally fall asleep every episode. Yeah, I actually can't keep awake. It's so slow.
So speaking of the slow political things, have you guys watched House of Cards?
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's a little different. I'd say a little more dramatic and faster paced.
It's a little more. It's got a little bit more energy to it. Like the West Wing. I feel like the West Wing is trying to fill space. Each episode's got about 5 minutes, minutes of drama, and they drag it out to 45 minutes.
Oh, for sure.
Awesome.
CSI.
Is there anything you mentioned? Was it the White
Ribbon?
White Ribbon. Mm-hmm. So was that a New Zealand film? Is there any films that are native or native filmmakers that you can get us hip to? So our audience is global, probably heavy on the United States side, but when we look at our numbers on SoundCloud, we're getting people from the Middle East, we're getting people from Australia, we're getting Asia. Diversity. So we've got a diverse audience, but for the most part, probably a large portion of our audience might not be hip to anything that's happening on a micro level in New Zealand. So is there anything cool happening there that we should know about?
Oh, there is. So do you guys know about a TV show called Flight of the Conchords?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's two of the coolest guys from NZ have made that show.
Brilliant.
In New York.
Comedy.
And then one of the guys in that show, he has now starred in a film directed by probably New Zealand's best director, called Taika Waititi. And Taika's made a film called What We Do in the Shadows. Have you guys heard of that?
I've heard of it, yeah.
That's just had a general release in America.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
It's like a low budget film, but it is like the funniest film. It's a mockumentary about some vampires who are living together in a flat, they're all in the same apartment.
Oh my gosh.
And they're just trying to get by, and there's vampires from 1,000 years ago, from 200 years ago, 100 years ago, and then there's a new vampire that's just been made. And it's just this stupid comedy set in this flat where they're trying to figure out whose turn it is to do the dishes. Somebody's at the door and they're flying around, they're turning into bats. And it is just the funniest thing you've ever seen.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Flight of the Conchords. So if it's the same kind of comedy, that's my deal.
It's got the same, it's got the same type of comedy. I mean, NZ has this type of comedy. New Zealand has this type of comedy, which is very sarcastic, very self-depreciating. Yeah, and it's kind of dry and a bit dark, right? A little bit like The Island.
Yes, that's great.
And so if you're into all that stuff, if you're into Monty Python and all those guys. It's got some of that going on. It's pretty funny.
We'll have to check that out. We should throw that trailer up on the fdb.podcast.com.
Yeah, we'll throw up some of those links. Hey, do me a favor, Roland. Send over like just maybe a one sheet with some of those links, and we'll get our audience hip and
for sure, yeah,
and start spreading the word. What about what's trending? You know, what are the things you're hearing? You now have a very large ear with Wipster, and you're hearing a lot of stuff from a lot of filmmakers. What are the things you're hearing? What are people talking about? You know, everything from workflow to gear to what they're excited about. You know, is there anything that you see? Do you see any trends that are like, hey, here's the things we're hearing from people?
Oh yeah, big time. Now I've got a few. Some of them are going to be controversial, but I think you're going to enjoy it.
We like controversy over here. So.
Controversial is good, right? So the top one that I'm hearing from people is that image quality is now becoming irrelevant, and that's a controversial one.
I like it.
So what I mean by that is that if you're going to shoot anything on a phone or on a really old VHS camera or anything like that, if you're going to do it on Vine, the quality of the picture doesn't matter so much anymore. This big obsession we had of like trying to get cinematic quality, trying to take a DSLR and try and crank it so it can turn into video in the early 2000s. We've jumped the shark, as they say. You know, we've now got ridiculous 8K cameras coming out, 16K cameras. The new iPhone can shoot 4K.
Wait a second. Whoa. Yeah. What does jump the shack mean?
Shark.
Oh,
I've never heard that.
Shark.
Oh, it's a saying. It's when you know when
you heard it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I thought you said jump the shack, and I was like, what the hell does that mean?
That would be awesome. Yeah, so we've jumped the shack. I love that saying. That's how I'm going to say it.
You should say it from now, yeah. You should say it's a USA saying now.
It's a Cincinnati, Kentucky thing.
It's a Cincinnati jump the shack.
You jump the shark, we jump the shack. Yeah.
So the iPhone's pumping out 4K. Everything's 4K. We have an inside joke at the shop where everything's 4K. So you know you go to lunch and you're like, is that hamburger 4K? Because you were at NAB. Everything at NAB was like 4K, 8K, 12K. Like just throw a K on the end of it, and it's fine.
It's getting insane. Yeah.
And the thing that I'm hearing is it really like on the ground level where the cash is being made, like clients paying for shit to happen, no one cares. Like no one really cares.
It's all about the story.
It's a buzzword. It's a buzzword, but really, if it's compressed all the way down and it's being put on Vine or it's getting compressed all the way down, put on YouTube, nobody really cares if it was shot in 4K. The really big thing that we're now hearing, and this is what all the clients are raving about and trying to get going on, is that they're saying, what is the concept behind the video?
Yeah.
And then what is the story? And they're saying, if a non-client of mine, if somebody who doesn't give a shit about what we're selling, watches this video and has a good time, that video is successful.
Absolutely.
That's the whole thing of entertain first, educate second. So image quality is out the door. We're hearing that audio quality, original music is becoming really big. Like people really want high quality audio and they really want original music. So even just library music is not cutting it anymore. People want to get that guy with his guitar in the studio and make something original for them.
Yeah,
and
which is
not jingles or anything, just original nice music.
Yeah, which is a really cool place to be because I know that it seems like, I actually studied and started out in audio and graduated like 2002, right when Napster dropped. And the audio industry just kind of like freaked out. They didn't know what to do. They hadn't figured out the streaming aspect and all that jazz. And so for the longest time, it just became like, canned music, as cheap as you could do it. Like everybody was scrambling to like find out how to even make this thing work. But now it's really starting to come back, and people are realizing, we can stream, we can license, we can do all these things, and we can record cheap, so therefore we can create, interesting original content. And so I love it because I love, I wish I could have an original score for everything. We use Audio Network a lot, and they put out some decent tracks and actually
constantly updated.
Yeah. And so. So anyway, I love that trend, and so hopefully that continues, and we start to see every project becoming more and more and more original and more interesting and more creative.
Yeah, nice. I mean, that's really all. That's really all that has to happen is that people need to come to terms with the idea that corporate videos don't work, and that you just need to make entertainment. And the companies that pump out tons and tons of just short form entertainment with a message, they're going to be the ones that absolutely kill it, and they're going to kill their competition who don't do that.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
that's all people want. I mean, when you look at the rise of video playback on Facebook, it's like it's already outstripped YouTube. The engagement is way higher, and it's all video. It's just video playback.
Yep.
So if you don't have it, you're not going to be seen.
Yeah, you need it. You need it nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the whole,
you need a lot of
Speaking of the whole music thing, well, I don't know why I want to get off on this tangent, but the originality, something that strikes me now, is that films are starting to use more electronic music than scored classical music. Have you seen this, Brandon?
Well, I
like
mean,
the whole Fincher stuff
yeah.
using
Well,
Reznor.
I mean, it's
I don't know
definitely-
why I wanted to bring this
Well,
up.
it's definitely a trend in. Yeah, I mean, it's still scored, right? I mean, it's that Brian Eno. If you go to the Brian Eno sort of thing, like it's very electronic. And actually, there was a guy who we're going down a rabbit hole now, but on NPR, I heard a story about a guy who just composed this 8-hour-long symphony. Electronic music that was designed for you to listen to while you sleep. And he launched it in Germany. There was a symphony hall in the round with cots. People were there. They were allowed to fall asleep. And this composer's whole hypothesis and his thesis was, if they get to the end and there's no applause, he has succeeded. And it was all electronic, sort of based with different sine waves and different tones or whatnot. But I don't know where we're going with that.
I have no idea.
That's the bourbon.
That sounds great.
I just wanted to bring up the whole originality thing, but using that in corporate world.
Well, Rollo, what are your, what's on your mind? What are your thoughts? What are the things you want to know from us? We have people we talk to all the time. We have guests on the show. We drink a lot of bourbon. Anything that what's your point of view?
Well, what I always love to figure out from people is what is a workflow? Can you guys talk to me about workflow a bit? You've got a ton of great clients. Talk me through how you go from getting that client all the way through to the point of their videos are up online and the audiences are loving it. How do you deal with the whole workflow with those guys?
Oh, such a good question.
This is the Brandon realm.
So from my point of view, so Alex is a director of photography. I usually, he's usually getting a call from me, not the other way around. Every now and again, he'll have a project that's beyond his scope, and he'll say, "Hey, why don't you call the guys over at Leap Frame?" But typically there's multiple things. So I deal with it as a director and sort of running my small production company from different angles. So there's clients that we work with directly, and they don't work with an agency. They work directly with Leap Frame, and so we basically handle that project from the inception to delivery. On those projects, it's very much what we call a boutique experience. I mean, they're working directly with me, the director, directly with Ryan Woolfolk, our animator, and we're typically either writing the scripts or creating the concepts or bringing people alongside us to do that, and creating the content, whether it's animation or filming, and then doing the post and then doing the delivery. So that workflow, a lot of times, in my opinion, works really smoothly because you eliminate a lot of the people in between. You're direct from the source. And so I think in general, the closer you can get to being directly to the source of the creative, the better the creative integrity can be held. So to your point earlier about, how Wipster is going to be expanding, I think that a lot of times when you get into agency world, you start to have, project managers and, coordinators and traffic and, media buyers and all this sort of stuff. And next thing you know, you have too many cooks in the kitchen. To whereas if you're the client and you express your desire or your vision to me as the director, it's kind of like the old game of telephone. I don't know if you played that over there in New Zealand growing up, but it's kind of I think a universal game of, if you tell me something, then I tell somebody else, and then all of a sudden it gets passed around a chain of 20 to 30 people.
Diluted.
The end message is always going to be different. But if you just tell me something, then it's pretty much going to be accurate. And so I think that's the same way with production. When you're working directly with a client, right with a director or with an editor or an animator, it's a lot easier to get from point A to point B without losing the heart or the soul of the creative. Now, we also work with agencies. And when we work with agencies, that's where a lot of times the vision can get lost in the process sometimes because, you're dealing with multiple people. You have an account coordinator who's got to, manage the account. You have the person who sold the account, the person who's the developing of new business who then hands it to the account coordinator. And then the account coordinator hands it to the creative director who then builds his team. And then he hands it to that team. And then they potentially sub out production. And so the person who's their, production manager works with the production company. Then if it's a big shoot, the production company is, hiring a bunch of freelancers. And so now everybody from the gaffers and the grips and the DPs are all, they're right now we're at a 30-person team to do this one thing. So I think in general, I would say when it comes to workflow, the more people you can pull out of the equation and keep it as a direct message, the better it is and the better the creative result is per what the ask was. Does that make sense?
Well, the more the more perfect. What's the word I'm looking for? Equal to the original intent.
Yeah.
Cut out the slack.
Yeah.
So if I was to then switch that question over to something new, there's this big movement of big companies, and we have a few of them as clients, a big move for them to have teams that work internally on all of their own video. And they have their own, essentially they have their own production company inside.
Hey, Dave, can you go ahead and cut him off the show right now? We don't do internal anymore. We're done with these guys.
Man, I'm done.
No, just kidding, man.
It's a movement, but
yes.
I mean, we have to know that this is happening, and it's not taking up all of the video out there, but there is a movement towards this.
Well, typically on the bigger ones, they still source out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing is here in the Midwest, yes, that does happen. But typically, an agency can't afford the type of talent and firepower that a production company has. And so a lot of times they have one or two guys, and they're pretty good. They're pretty nimble with, the Adobe suite, and they can go film some stuff. They can animate some stuff. But they're not necessarily full-on specialists. So when it comes to doing, let's say, an explainer video, they might not be at the level of a high-end animator who can really bring it to life. Their stuff might border on the line of that sort of PowerPoint look, or it might be, it might be good enough for internal, it might be good enough for some clients, but it's not necessarily at the highest level. When it comes to production, they can go out there with, a Canon C100 series or, some of the Blackmagic stuff that's more affordable. Yeah. They can get an image. And it's a good image, but is it the type of image you get with a full team with a gaffer and a grip and DP and AC and the whole deal? I don't think so. And so there is this content where there's kind of a line that is like, okay, am I on the left or the right side of this line? And if I need it to be polished and sort of all in pro, then I need to hire out and get the team to really make this happen. But if I only need it to be good enough, then I can kind of go prosumer and I can go with a one-man band and get some really great content. So there's a place for all of it, for sure. It's just that's kind of what I'm seeing, where we're at is that we're getting the calls for the things that extend beyond what the in-house guy can do.
Right. So are you talking about the in-house guy at an agency, or are you talking about the in-house guy at a company that makes their own videos, like Evernote or something?
Well, both. Because even a lot of the companies. So here in Cincinnati, where we podcast out of, we've got Procter & Gamble, we've got Kroger, we've got those are probably some of the bigger brands that people might know of.
Some financials.
We've got Western Southern Financial, and they have some internal resources, but most of the time, those internal resources are so slammed because every department is asking them for something, and they can't really give the time to do.
But they're also doing photo, and they're doing design, and they're doing websites.
Yeah,
and so it gets like Brandon said, they're not specialists.
Yeah, they're hiring jack of all trades for sure.
And I think the guys that want to specialize, they need the variety, so they end up going freelance and then getting hired, like me, by someone like Brandon.
Yeah,
to work on creative projects.
And that's the other trend too, Rollo, is that really the freelance game is out of control. Everybody and their brother starts their own business, and really they're just freelancers.
Yeah.
No, I've seen that. I mean, we have a ton of customers who are one-person bands who just go around making stuff all over the place. And what I really love about that is that they spool up teams for specific jobs. So they'll come along and they'll hire 40 people for a shoot.
Absolutely.
And it's just a freelancer. And I love that, because then everyone's getting involved and the quality is there and the output is there and they're getting paid properly as well, which is really, really good.
Well, and I think at the end of the day, what happens is it really, it increases competition and really pushes everybody to do better. And I think in the end result is better content all the way around. So, I love it.
Sure. Well, and putting that together, say they're putting together a 20-person team. Nowadays, so many people are working remotely. Say you have your director in Cincinnati, you got Brandon up here, but he wants a motion graphics guy in Brazil, and he wants the DPs out of San Francisco where the job's at, and et cetera, but they all come together via a platform like Wipster after the video's all done, and they can all, get together and say, oh, well, I need the color to be a little different, and this edit needs to be moved via the editor, and the MoGraph needs to go here. That's where it's all being tied in.
Yeah, I mean, one of our main sound mixers that we use a lot for sound design is from Spain.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
and we got our colorist is up in New Hampshire or whatever,
Yeah, my colorist is he's in New Hampshire. So it doesn't really matter anymore. And file sizes are getting smaller. It's just like I can FedEx a hard drive with all the red footage, and then we just both swap project files.
Yep. It's easy.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
So
no, it's cool. It's cool. One thing I am seeing in these big companies is that they're just to go back for a second, is that what I like is that some of these big companies are hiring like professional documentary makers to be their in-house video producer. And so they're ending up with this level of quality which hasn't happened in the past, because as you say, people have ended up with these jack of all trades. And so I think there will be just a section of companies out there that are able to do high quality content internally. But I just think that it's only a specific type of company who has that sort of budget and that sort of vision to go, we're going to have like a professional filmmaking group in our company.
For sure. But I think the company really cool. Also needs the diversity. I mean, you see companies like Red Bull and things like that where they're filming all sorts of different really high intensity, cool projects so they can retain that staff. If you're a company and all you do is make, a floor cleaner or something, you're going to retain, this high-end staff for a year. But then those people are going to get bored and want to move on and whatever. But it's just, being able to keep them in-house.
It's true. But wouldn't one argue that if Red Bull, the maker of a sugary drink, can make interesting content, then the floor cleaning product can make interesting content?
For sure, via partnerships.
Definitely.
No, absolutely right.
And here's the thing, because somewhere in the world is somebody who has an amazing story about cleaning floors.
That's right.
True. And might not be the floors, but it might be the person, and that person may have, whatever it might be. They have overcome something in their life, and they are the greatest floor cleaner of all time. And
of all time.
we all know that. We have a saying at with Leaf Frame is that everything's interesting. It's all how you frame it. And so
you got it.
When you approach any story from the right lens and you really tell it from an interesting point of view, anything can become really interesting. I mean, there's
you throw in the human element. Yeah.
I mean, recently I watched a documentary about General Tso's chicken.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's on Netflix, and it's amazing. And it's literally like this guy who was like, "Where's General Tso? Like, where did this come from?" And he just kind of goes on this little journey, and he like tries to track down like the origins of this like Chinese food dish. And it's amazingly entertaining. And it's, you think about that, if we were all sitting around at the house drinking bourbon and somebody said, oh, let's make a documentary about General Tso's chicken, somebody in the room would say, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
But it's on Netflix and it's amazing. So
there you go. Yeah.
It's just how it's framed.
That's the thing. Yeah. It's about if you can come up with a cool concept, you can make content forever that's still entertaining. I mean, if you imagine about that floor cleaner, right? If you imagine somehow the concept was going back through the history of all the wars that ever happened, and figuring out if the floors had been cleaned with this product during the wars. Like how would that have changed the war?
Oh my God.
Just that sort of stuff. You just go, okay, conceptually, we've now got like 10 years worth of content to make, and it's all branded documentary sort of work, right?
That's great.
And so a documentary filmmaker is wanting to stay in that company for 10 years because there's still heaps of great stuff to do. It just happens to be about a floor cleaner.
True.
Or it just happens to be about a drink.
Yeah, and it's if the client has the vision or if they're willing to, go forth and do that. That's the only deal. So I guess we just have to keep encouraging original content and more of the storytelling aspect versus the talking head that just spits out facts.
You're damn right. And what we're seeing with all of our clients and all their clients is that we're seeing a big movement of clients understanding that they have got to do that.
Yeah.
And that they're now asking for it. They're sometimes tentative about how to ask for it or how to talk about it because they don't understand it, but they're now wanting it, which is a huge movement.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the cool thing that I'm excited about is on this show, we're able to bring our listeners great resources like you guys over at Wipster who are making the whole process easier. And that's really what it matters, is that the content's getting better, the tools are getting better, the cameras are getting better. Everything is pushing to a place in history where to tell a story dynamically, beautifully, and in a cinematic way is easier than ever, and there's no excuse for any company along the way. And so that's super exciting for us, and that's what's so cool about this conversation, man. And we love that you guys are having it. So just too
Absolutely.
Cool. So one of the things that we also have maybe heard from you, maybe it was a rumor, I'm not sure, but just maybe some of our listeners, if they're lucky enough, might have the ability to tap into this product that you have. Is this correct?
This is absolutely correct.
So what do you got for us?
We've got a little giveaway for you guys. What we'd like to do is we'd like to give away one team account, which means that your whole team can work together in the cloud.
Whoa,
nice!
It's worth $500 a year, and we're going to give it to you for free.
Whoa!
Is there a limit on the number of team members?
I think on this one we're going to go unlimited. We're just going to say,
gosh!
Wow!
We're going to say, get your team in there, get your uploads going, get going with it.
You went
better
crazy.
Content. Yes.
Yeah. Is the cloud in New Zealand? Does it hover over you as well?
It's just
they get a piece of it.
It's one external hard drive in the South Island. It's awesome. Really slow.
Oh my god!
Uploads. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks to upload a megabyte. But dude,
that is an awesome giveaway. Let me tell you. Let me say something to the listeners right now. So I am the director for Leap Frame, a small boutique digital film and motion design company. We religiously use Wipster. It is our lifeline to the client. I want to tell you right now, you are about to be...
Your life's about to be changed.
Your life is going to change. If you win this giveaway, everything changes. And what a great... wow, what a gift.
And if you don't win the giveaway, you should still look into it because it's
absolutely. Yeah, you need to go to Wipster right now and sign up for this thing, try it out, and go for it. So, but to win it, what do you got to do, Alex?
Well, you got to mention 3 things. You got to first of all, what is Wipster's Twitter name? Twitter account.
It's Wipsters. So WIPSTERS.
Hence the community.
There you go, the community. So you have to mention at Wipsters.
Yep.
You have to mention at FDB Podcast.
Correct.
And you have to include the hashtag FDB giveaway.
Yeah, and you might do it something like this.
Yeah.
Hey, just listen to the at FDB Podcast and heard the cool guys at Wipsters, and I'm super stoked to potentially win the FDB giveaway.
Exactly.
That would be a good way to do it.
Yes. And you might win a purse, but we found out that there's a company called FDB selling purses.
Yeah, it's like a fashion brand.
Yeah, and so they overlap with our giveaway.
They do a giveaway as well, but we've embraced it. So
So it's 50-50. You're either going to win a purse or you're going to win the future of video production.
Yeah, either way, your life's going to be changed.
Yeah.
So
and we're also going to throw in our new designer T-shirt as well.
Oh, nice.
So you're going to have a sexy T-shirt to wear, and it's whatever size you want. You're going to grab one of them for your team, and that person's going to be the captain. They're going to walk around. Everybody's going to go, "Oh my god,
I need to be the Wipster." I love it.
Well, Rollo, man, you guys are the best. We really appreciate you joining us on the show. I know you had to get up early. You guys are on the other side of the planet. This has been amazing.
I've had a great time.
Thank God for technology.
Have you had a good time?
I've had the best time.
Awesome.
This is one of the greatest podcasts I think I've ever heard.
Awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I think, you know what, I got a feeling you might be back.
I think I feel it in my skeleton.
Nice.
I feel it.
Nice.
Good.
Cool. It's off the shack.
Brandon, don't jump the shack now, all right?
I'm off.
You just jumped the shack.
I'm over the shack. I don't know what that means.
Oh my god.
Well, all right. Well, man, it's been a lot of fun. We're gonna let you get on with your day. You guys got from what it sounds like, you guys got a lot going on. You got to get to work.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to get done, and we're going to do it for you. So I'm sorry it's not even done now.
Oh, that's fine.
No problem,
for
man.
our listeners. Yep.
Well, thanks so much for joining the show, and we'll be in touch. We're going to post all your links on the fdbpodcast.com, where we're going to be able to share with everybody, and it's going to be great. So
you know what we should do?
What's that?
He's sending one of our listeners a shirt. We should send him a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Would you rock one of the new Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon shirts?
Yeah, big time.
Just take an Instagram it and show us what you're doing. Yeah.
Customs might apprehend it. They might say, "What is this?
No.
Contraband."
It's too hot. Yeah.
We'll send you a shirt and a sticker that you can slap up somewhere in New
Yes.
Zealand.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
you can slap it on the side of the shed.
Yeah, if you can
jump it.
If you can sticker bomb the shed,
the shack,
that'd be great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I'll get a shark to jump over the shack.
Perfect. Perfect. See, we're all on the same page. So
all right.
Yeah, we know what's going on.
All right. Well, cheers, Rollo. We appreciate it, man, and we'll talk
guys.
soon.
Cheers.
It's been fun.
All right. Later, man.
Bye.
Wow.
That was awesome.
That guy.
He was fantastic. Man, so one of our listeners is going to get a team account
to Wipster. Dude, this thing's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like gold.
Yeah.
It's like having gold in your online, in your
gold
pocket.
in your online.
It's amazing.
I love it.
It's amazing.
Man. So yeah, your whole team is going to be able to coordinate and get on the same page throughout the entire project.
Yeah.
Review, talk to your clients.
I love his energy, and I love what he brings to the table on. He really has a passion on,
storytelling.
Yeah, and upgrading the content that's being put out.
Yeah. Don't just keep putting out the same stuff. Tell a story. What's kind of this in line with your thoughts, Yeah. Why just shoot a talking head? Tell a story.
Love it. Amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Anyway, dude. Well, we asked him all these questions. What about you, man? What have you been watching?
Oh, man. Well, finally got into Narcos.
After weeks of me telling you to get into it.
I was excited about it like months ago.
I know, but you never did it.
Yeah, but things have been crazy. It's been busy. And then you jumped in because
it's always time for
your
Pablo.
life is totally easy.
Always time for
You don't
Pablo.
have anything else going on.
I know.
You're just walking around.
Literally.
You got a kitten.
I got a kitten.
That's about it.
That's about it.
I'm just kidding.
Don't really work or anything.
So yeah, I finally watched it, and wow.
Thoughts?
Well, first off, the intro's amazing.
The like MoGraph.
Yeah, well, it's simple, but
video,
and it feels a lot like True Detective
Season 1. Yep.
Yeah, like the T-Bone Burnett thing.
It's brilliant.
But it's beautiful. I love it. I love the leading guy,
dude. Holbrook.
I texted you and said he's the new Brad Pitt. You disagreed.
Nah, I don't think he's the new Brad Pitt. I think he's
sexy.
Fantastic.
I think he's sexy. I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah.
I'm confident enough to say that he's sexy.
Did you see Gone Girl?
Yeah, he's
I
in
actually
there.
looked this up. Yeah, he was
He's in that.
the kind of white trash thug guy in the trailer park that robbed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
And the guy who plays Escobar is just phenomenal.
Which I told you about a movie that you need to go see.
Correct.
Elite Squad: The Enemy Within. It's a Brazilian film.
Haven't seen yet.
You need to. It's on Netflix. Really, really cop drama again.
Yeah.
But he plays the other side of the line this time. He's a prison warden, I guess, or a
it's great
security expert.
So I got a funny story to tell. So I'm watching Narcos.
Yeah.
And my wife hasn't joined me in this Narcos journey just yet.
Ah.
And the other night we're sitting on the couch. I'm turning on Narcos, and I'm on like episode 4 or 5.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "What's this all about?" So of course it's the episode where it opens up with the girl tied to the bed.
Oh yeah.
So she looks at me and she's like, "Oh, nice content you got here."
Yeah.
And so here
the kids.
Yeah, and she's trying to, you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Look, it's not like this. It's like he's a drug dealer. Like he ties girls up in his bed."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, she kind of was giving me like a little,
A little sass.
Yeah, a little sass about it. And I'm like, "Look, you haven't watched the whole show. Like, don't accuse me of like
it's important to the story.
Watching Skinamax.
No.
Like, it's a good show.
Yeah, you're watching drug dealers and murders. So
sometimes the news reporter gets tied up in bed.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's an integral, crucial part of the story.
Absolutely.
She needs to understand that.
Anyways, I thought it was funny.
It's a great series. I just finished it 2 days ago.
What else are you watching?
Have you finished it yet?
No, don't give it away.
Okay. Well, what else have I been watching? I watched a really bad movie.
Yeah.
I went to the theater for my wife's.
Be careful. We don't want to get sued. I
wouldn't say bad.
creatively, it might be challenged.
Wasn't my cup of tea. This is a review, so I'm allowed to say exactly what I think. So it was my wife's birthday. We went with her and her dad to go see Transporter Refueled.
As in Jason Statham?
Yeah, but they removed him from the equation.
Oh, no. Because there's like 800 of those films.
There's like 4, but...
800.
3 or 4. Anyway, they rebooted the entire series. They brought in this new guy who was in Game of Thrones. So if you watch Game of Thrones, and there was one season where Daenerys Targaryen's, right-hand man...
that name right there just turns me on.
It's awesome. So her sidekick, her assassin sidekick with the long blonde locks that just took care of all of her dirty deeds, he disappeared and his character got replaced by another actor. That dude, the original guy, went off to film Transporter because he thought he was going to be a huge action star.
Sure.
Yeah,
and
which is...
It's not going to work because Jason Statham's awesome.
Well, he's the Transporter.
He's a badass.
Either way. So the new one, it just kind of fell flat. There were a lot of plot holes. Action was great.
Yeah.
It was shot really well.
Yeah.
But just,
Speaking of action movies, I got a little bone to pick. I got a bone to pick.
What do you got?
I got a bone to pick with...
Pick the bone.
007.
Which one?
I saw the news. Did you see the news article that Iris was too, quote, street for 007?
Idris?
Idris.
You said Iris.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Idris Elba. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Dude, he's like the most distinguished, nice gentleman ever.
He's got a British accent.
You know what I'm going to call out?
What?
I'm going to call out 007. 007, the creators, the writers, racist.
James Bond.
Can I say that?
You can. You're allowed to say
My
it.
personal opinion
Go ahead.
is that potentially they might be racist.
I don't think they are. I
don't know,
I've
dude.
read and I've listened to a lot of other...
He's a great candidate. He would make a great Bond.
I know.
Can we not get a black Bond? It's 2015.
That's not the issue.
Oh, come on.
No, that's not the issue.
Sure.
I don't think that's... Race isn't an issue. I've heard a lot of, like, really educated Bond, I would say, historians and commentators.
Who are all white.
They are all
who are
white.
all privileged.
Yeah, they're all British.
Who all don't want black people to be Bond.
No, I mean, but the guy, one of the guys on NPR brought up a really good point. He said none of that's an issue. We should have. What's the problem with having a black Bond? What's the problem with having a disabled Bond? What's the problem with having a gay Bond? What's the problem? Why does Bond doesn't have to be just this white, British, or Scottish guy? It's not written into the books that he's a specific whatever.
Yeah.
You can just make it whatever you want.
Sure.
So who knows? Maybe they will at some point.
So why don't they?
But maybe
racism.
He just is too, what they say, hood. I don't think so. But maybe they're going for something more like 12 Years a Slave. What's his name?
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about, though. Yeah.
Yes. We're gonna have to
somebody like that. Yeah. But I don't know. I think Idris is very well spoken. He brilliant
was for
guy.
me. The first time I really noticed him was in The Big C, which was a Showtime show, and the main character gets cancer, and her whole life gets crazy.
Ooh.
And he actually comes in as a janitor working at the school who becomes a love interest.
Yeah.
And he's just super cool, smooth dude. I like him.
I think Idris would be great. He was great, and he's been more of like an action star recently. Kind of with like Pacific Rim, you probably never saw it.
No.
Robots, big robots and monsters.
Not happening.
Prometheus, sci-fi film.
Nope.
Yeah, but he's been good.
Sounds
really,
good.
Really good. I think you should do it.
Anyway,
get him in there.
Another frustration of mine.
Idris for Bond.
I got another frustration.
Hashtag.
I'm going to air out all my frustrations.
Go
today.
ahead.
I'm frustrated that foreign films don't get the type of credit that they do here in the States.
What do you mean?
So my favorite director, Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Yep.
Amélie.
Oh, you've been waiting forever to see his new one.
Micmacs.
Yeah.
A Very Long Engagement.
Yep.
The list goes on. I could name them all.
He's brilliant.
And Delicatessen.
Brilliant.
I mean, the guy's amazing.
Yeah. All he makes is good films.
So he creates this amazing film about a young cartographer. It's his first U.S. film, his first film in English.
Yeah.
In 3D. He finally had the technology to do this film. I was so excited about it.
Yeah.
It was in the theaters in the U.S. It released in 2013 in Europe.
For like one day.
It won all of these awards.
Yeah.
It comes to the States, 2015. It's in the theaters, literally 3 days.
Wow.
So guess who didn't get to see it?
You.
Yeah, and guess who can't find it online?
Me.
Or me. And so it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's my big frustration, in addition to the racism of Hollywood.
Well, I think that's that's slowly going away, though. I think, which sucks for people like me and you who actually make content and want to get it seen by the larger public. I have a feeling that theaters are on their way out. I think people are going less and less. I think people are more happy to sit in their home theater.
Yeah, but I still love going to the show.
Well, so do I. But what I'm saying is it's going to be easier and easier for films like that to get an audience via a Netflix, a Vimeo Plus.
You know what I want to see?
Whatever. What?
I want to see a movement of boutique theaters. I don't care if the screen's that big. Mm-hmm. Give me a screen that's half the size, but with really cool films, with people who appreciate it, and play to the niche audience. Yeah. Be the theater that does nothing but foreign films. Be the theater that does nothing but the art house. Be the theater that does nothing but action. I think that's the win.
And I'm going to throw out a huge props and a huge thumbs up and a huge thank you to a couple local theaters, the Esquire downtown Cincinnati and the Kenwood Theater up, a little north on 71.
They do a good job. They were the only ones to carry the Jean-Pierre film.
But only for 3 days.
But it was 3 days.
Yeah. Well, they had to, everybody, they've got to make room for the things that are actually going to bring in the money.
They got to pay the bills.
Yeah. So we respect them for actually taking the risk and showing those niche films and, getting it out there. But you're right. We need more of that. Yeah. Where I think is the digital market's going to make a huge run at that. Like iTunes, Netflix, all those things, you're going to be able to view it the day it drops overseas, drops in England, you're going to be able to view it on Netflix.
Or an NZ.
Or an NZ. I love that. I'm going to start saying NZ.
NZ, man, that's where it's at. So what else is going on, man? You been working on anything cool? Well, you just did something cool with me.
Did I?
Well, it's been it's been a month.
No, I'm excited for those to drop, the commercial spots we shot.
We did some really cool things for a company who puts beautification on your ceiling.
Mm-hmm. We can't say more than that.
I mean, I might be allowed to say it. I just don't know. I didn't ask them.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But regardless, they're really fun. We just got them back from Color. Our colorist, William Litois. From New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. He's great.
I wonder if he knows we're mentioning him on the show. We've mentioned him like 2 or 3 times.
I'm sure he knows. Either way,
we'll see.
We'll point him out.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out.
Anyway.
Yeah, he was great. So he did a great job.
It looks great. I just showed him to you before we walked in.
Exactly. I know. Him and I were coordinating on the whole thing, bringing together your vision.
How did you like the sound design?
Fantastic.
You know who did that?
I know exactly.
Adam Plyman at Sound Images.
Sound Images, Cincinnati.
And that's where we're at right now in Studio B.
For Bourbon.
Matter of fact, Adam has like a whole thing he's doing.
With the whole soundbite thing?
Yeah, it's the Sound Images soundbite.
He's still doing that?
Hey, Adam.
Let's kick it over.
What do you got?
Honestly, guys, I'm sorry. This week has been insanely busy. But I do have this. I do have a nice Four Roses small batch in hand. It's tasty, really tasty. And not to mention, thank you for the Four Roses hat. Four Roses, this thing is beautiful. It's going to keep my insanely short, quasi-balding head out of the sun while I'm on vacation next week. So, peace out. And, yeah, so sorry about the no audio stuff, guys.
Wow,
man.
Well, at least you're getting the Four Roses in there.
Dude, I was so excited. He always has some crazy thing he's doing.
Yeah, the binaural, all that jazz.
Yeah, he's talking about ADR.
Yeah, it's just stuff that I can't speak to.
It is nice, though, that he's sipping on Four Roses.
Yes.
In the midst of how busy he is, he still has time to sip on Four Roses small batch.
Small batch.
And enjoy it.
It makes everything easier.
That is true. So,
well,
that's
for
cool,
that,
man.
Adam. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
We look forward to your next, contribution.
We've got an FDB giveaway.
We do.
We've got an FDB giveaway,
people
right?
need to enter.
It's happening like right now.
Well,
tell them about the FDB giveaway.
Well, there's 2, right?
Well, there's like every week this month.
Yeah.
For Bourbon Heritage Month, we're giving away. Tell them what we're giving away.
Well, we're giving away a hat and a tabletop kind of coffee table book from our friends over at Four Roses Bourbon, who are sponsoring this month for Bourbon Heritage Month. So we've got 3 of their bourbons this month. We had Yellow Label. We had this today, this week, is the small batch. And then if you want to win that hat and that calendar, what is it? Is it a calendar? It's a book.
No, it's
just
a book.
with
It's a
pictures.
book. It's got beautiful
It's
pictures.
got the history
it's
of
amazing.
Four Roses. It's fantastic. So they need to mention 3 things, like always.
Always.
They need to mention at FDB Podcast.
Yep.
They need to mention our good friends over at 4, the number 4, Roses Bourbon.
Correct.
And then the hashtag
FDB giveaway. And so we got one right now.
Absolutely.
This week, we're giving it away
Yep.
to...
Who? Who won it?
Let's get in the hat.
Do it.
Drum roll, please.
Here, let me shake it up.
Boom.
Who won it?
Our first winner
Yep.
of the book and the hat,
Book
which
and
is
the
a
hat.
nice hat, by the way.
It is. That's
Actually, Adam has the hat on right now.
what?
Yeah, he's wearing it. And if you go to Twitter, you'll see what we're talking about. And the winner is Charles Crawford.
Charles Crawford.
At Irish Rock 66
Irish Rock 66.
from Waukegan, Illinois.
Ooh.
Congratulations, buddy.
There you go.
You are the winner
Chuck.
of this week's FDB Four Roses giveaway.
Congratulations, Chuck.
Awesome.
Love it. So you won a hat and a book of pictures from our friends at Four Roses Bourbon.
And we would appreciate if you like that giveaway. We'd love for you to go to the iTunes store.
Yep.
And say, you know what? These guys are pretty good.
We need it.
They gave me a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a
We
5-star
give you
rating.
good content every week.
And matter of fact, anyone, even if you don't win, if you like this show, if you like the content we're bringing you, if you like Wipster, if you like Four Roses Bourbon, if you like Wooden Camera,
Dissolve.
should I keep talking? Dissolve.
Pause this episode
Boom.
right now. Go to the iTunes store, which you're already on because you're listening,
Yes.
and just rate it. 5 stars.
Yeah, you don't even-
You can write something if you want.
You don't even have to pause it.
You don't have to. You can do it while
You
you're
can
listening.
open up another window.
Yeah, here, let's narrate for you. Okay, boom. Okay, you're going to find the 5-star and
Yep.
click
Good.
5-star podcast.
Excellent.
And then you go comment.
Excellent.
Hey, the guys over there at FDB
Wait,
Podcast.
backspace.
Backspace, because you misspelled. Oh,
Good.
they're so great. Their content's fantastic. They bring me good content every week. They give me free stuff.
And send.
I love it. Post.
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
Help us out.
Takes 10 seconds.
Help us out.
Help us help
We're
you.
at 4.5 stars.
I know. I think I calculated it out. We need like 8 to 10 5-star ratings.
We just want to be a 5-star.
We'll be up there.
We want to be a 5-star podcast.
Yeah.
We feel like we're bringing you 5-star content. We're giving you 5-star giveaways. Today, we just gave you $500 worth of Wipster.
500.
$500 for you and your team.
Yeah.
What do you got to do to get that, Alex?
You got to mention 3 things, like always.
Now, let's not get confused because it's not about Four Roses.
Oh, so you could do that and win a hat and a picture book.
Yeah, because we're doing that every week in the month of September.
Because it's Bourbon Heritage Month, special event.
But for Wipster,
But if you want to win that for your entire team to have a subscription account to Wipster, to get on the same page with your project management and have a better final outcome, you need to mention at FDB Podcast, us, that's me and you.
Cod Pass.
Cod paste. Cod paste. It's like a fish paste made of cod.
Mention at FDB Podcast. At Wipsters.
Yep.
WIP.
What's the hashtag?
STERS.
What's the hashtag?
Hashtag FDB giveaway.
Because that's what we're doing is we're giving it away.
And if you do that,
what do you get?
You're going to get $500 worth of a team account to Wipsters.
Unlimited team members.
Unbelievable.
That's killer. They didn't have to do that,
out of
but they
control.
did.
They didn't.
Because they love you guys.
They didn't. Actually, I'm going to be honest here. I think they were originally going to do less than that.
Did I force them?
No. He was like, you know what? I love these guys.
Yeah.
I'm up in the ante.
Exactly.
We're going big.
Yeah. We only give you guys the best.
Exactly.
That's why we're here.
So thanks, guys, for listening. We really appreciate it. This has been a ton of fun. We're on episode 15 now?
15.
This
we
is
just
crazy.
had somebody from New Zealand.
Dude, we're
on the
an
show.
international podcast.
Yes. Officially.
Now, listen, there's some great podcasts out there. We even put out a BuzzFeed post ourselves telling you what other podcasts to listen to.
Yeah.
But you know what? Ultimately, you're going to continue listening to this one.
Because you want to.
Because we're giving you awesome stuff.
I feel like this is one of those hypnosis things. You want to listen to us.
And potentially right now we're rambling because we are sipping on some of the finest bourbon in the game from our friends at Four Roses.
The small batch.
The Four Roses small batch.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little commercial.
Go for it.
Four Roses small batch. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey crafted from 4 select bourbons. Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon is brought to you by Four Roses Bourbon. Handcrafted, yet still tasty.
I feel like I want some Four Roses right now.
Oh, geez.
Anyway,
so thanks so much, guys.
It's been a great episode. Thanks to our buddies at Wipster. Thanks to our buddies at Four Roses. Thanks to our friends here at Sound Images Cincinnati.
Dave is literally kicking us out of the studio.
Yeah.
Dave's like, I need to go home. Guys, you've had too much bourbon.
Yeah.
Cut it off.
Either way. So thanks for joining us. We will see you next week on FDD Podcast.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. This podcast was recorded live at Sound Images Studio. Find out more at soundimages.com.